I'm Sarah from Istidama, and today we'll be talking about source segregation. First of all, we'd like to thank our partners, our strategic partner Expo 2023, waste management partners Marafiq and Wahab, sustainability partner Elite, recycling partner Seashore, our international partner ISWA, our business partner Electronics Recycling Factory, and our giveaway partner Drinkies. We will be having a Q&A session at the end, so please do stick to the end to participate in that and hopefully be one of our lucky winners. We will announce this through social media, probably sometime next week. So I'll just go quickly through our agenda. We'll have an overview of Istidama, an introduction to Expo 2023, and then we'll meet our speakers, introduction to source segregation, possibilities of source segregation in Qatar, and then practices followed in other countries, food waste, and then Q&A and closing remarks. So what is Istidama? We specialized in waste management and environmental integrated solutions utilizing the best available technologies. We are a Qatari company based in Doha, and for those of you who don't speak Arabic, Istidama does mean sustainability. Our company serves more than 3 main entities: environmental, society, and economy. Our expertise and competency serve both local and international companies looking into environmental and waste management solutions that involve smart waste systems, environmental strategies, and waste recycling minimalization solutions. So our services is environmental and waste consultancy for both governmental and corporate, smart waste management systems, independent waste audit, extended producer responsibility, training, awareness, and certification, environmental PR, and marketing. So our vision is to provide the best integrated solutions in environmental waste and resource recovery. Our mission is to become a leading partner in waste management and environmental integrated solutions. Istidama is driven by the Qatar National Vision 2030 of His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad, Amir of Qatar, that aims to create a balance between development needs and protecting the environment. So now I'd like to introduce you to Ms. Haifa Al-Ataibi, Event and Communication Manager of Expo 2023, Doha, Qatar. قدم لكم السيدة هيفا العتيبي مسؤولة عن إدارة الفعاليات والاتصال المؤسسي. So Haifa, please feel free to share your screen. I'll stop sharing.
اوكي، السلام عليكم. معكم هيفا العتيبي، مدير إدارة الفعاليات من فريق إكسبو. بداية قبل ما أتكلم عن استضافتنا للإكسبو، أنا راح أتكلم عن أهمية استضافة دولة قطر لهذا الحدث الهام. طبعا كما هو معروف، قطر دائما سباقة لاستضافة أهم وأكبر الفعاليات الدولية الكبرى، وهذا صراحة اللي مهد لنا الطريق إن اليوم نستضيف إكسبو الدوحة للبسنة. فلما نتكلم سابقا عن البسنة فإحنا نعني فيها تزيين الحديقة أو الشكل الجمالي للحديقة، بس مؤخرا أصبح مفهوم البسنة يتطلب منا جهود أكثر، إن نتعاون للحد من التطهر. هدفنا طبعا ككل إن نخلق عالم أكثر خضرة. فاليوم لما نقول بسنة وفي منطقة صحراوية وتعاني من مناخ حار، هذا بحد ذاته التحدي الكبير اللي إحنا قبلنا أن نخضع فيه. إذا بتكلم عن الإكسبو، إذا ممكن ننتقل السلايد اللي بعده. راح الإكسبو إن شاء الله يمتد على مدى 180 يوم تقريبا، نبداها بشهر أكتوبر من 2023 إلى مارس 2024. راح نتكلم بالإكسبو بأرقام سريعة. مثل ما ذكرتوا، أول معرض دولي للبسنة راح يقام في منطقة الشرق الأوسط وشمال أفريقيا على مساحة ما يقارب 1,700,000 متر مربع. نتمنى أن نستضيف أكثر من 80 دولة ونترقب لزيارة 3 ملايين زائر. الأهمية الكبيرة اللي احنا يعني نطلع عليها أن احنا نستضيف أول معرض راح يكون من بعد استضافة قطر 2022. المحور الرئيسي لإكسبو الدوحة هو صحراء خضراء بيئة أفضل، واللي يهدف بشكل رئيسي إلى تخضير الصحراء وتحسين البيئة. منها راح تطلع 4 محاور فرعية، اللي هي الزراعة الحديثة، التكنولوجيا والابتكار، الوعي البيئي، ونختمها بالاستدامة. راح يقام إن شاء الله الإكسبو مثل ما ذكرنا على مساحة 1,700,000 متر مربع، وهي مساحة صراحة كبيرة. راح تقام في منطقة البدع، مقسمة إلى 3 أقسام. بداية المنطقة الشمالية هي المنطقة الأقرب للأبراج، راح تكون فيها مشاركات بالأجنحة الدولية. المنطقة الوسطى هي المنطقة الخاصة بالعائلات، راح نقدم فيها فعاليات خاصة بالعائلات. والمنطقة الأخيرة هي المنطقة الثقافية، واخترنا هالموقع لقربها من سوق واقف، بنقدم فيها إن شاء الله فعاليات تراثية وثقافية. أنا ما راح أطول عليكم وأعطيكم تفاصيل أكثر. هذه ممكن بعض الصور اللي نتوقعها أنها راح تكون فيها المنطقة. وختاما أنا أتطلع بكل شغف وإصرار أن احنا نستضيف نسخة ناجحة من الإكسبو بالتعاون معاكم. نرحب بجميع المشاركات سواء المحلية أو الدولية، ونسعى أن يكون الإكسبو هو علامة مميزة أخرى تضاف لرؤية قطر 2030. كل الشكر لكم.
شكرا هيفا على المعلومات القيمة، وإن شاء الله we know some people here don't understand Arabic, and I see in the comments that if there's any chance to share the information, we can definitely forward the deck or give you some resources to reach out to Doha Expo straight to them. So let's meet our speakers for today. We have Bakr Al-Hadrami. He started his career in '97 from one of the most known government agencies in Qatar, Kahrama, where he occupied operations and maintenance engineering position in various domains, including leading the mechanical maintenance, planning and scheduling maintenance activities, operations and commissioning engineering projects, participated in corporate planning committee, representative in many water projects. In 2008, he joined Barwa Real Estate Company as administrative manager in Barwa Media Company, the company which formed to implement Media City project within his role. He also prepared and executed Future Leaders Program. He also worked as head of the training team in Barwa Real Estate Company, responsible for the individual development plan, DCP and LDP. He joined Marafiq Qatar in 2010 as project manager to manage several projects like design, build, and operations and maintenance for sewage treatment plants and project management of district cooling plants. He's currently the director of operations and maintenance department for Marafiq Qatar, where he oversees all operations and maintenance activities of the different utilities. Our second speaker for today is Warda. She's the founder and managing director of Wahab, an award-winning company fighting food waste in Qatar that provides solutions for reducing, reusing, and recycling food waste. She's an electronics and communications engineer turned entrepreneur who is passionate about sustainability, organic farming, and social services. She is a mother of 3 and was chosen to be among the top 30 most influential people to impact the community in Qatar in 2019 by Doha Festival magazine. So let's get to it. So what is source segregation? Source segregation is basically to segregate all of your waste, solid waste, into different aspects of waste and different categories. So what are the different types of waste? We have organic waste that includes food waste, green waste, leftover food, fallen leaves, branches, and other landscaping debris, cut flowers. Recycled waste include glass bottle containers, food and beverage cans, flattened cardboard, and paper. The general waste is made up of materials that are not fit for recovery or recycling. And then we have hazardous waste, which includes solvent-based paints, batteries, motor oils, petrol, cleaning and polishing chemicals, swimming pool or spa bath chemicals, pharmaceuticals, obsolete computer equipment. So I just wanted to ask if you guys do segregate your waste. We can maybe run a poll or just show of hands of how many of you do that, maybe in your household or in your business or schools or universities. So while getting a few responses, I'll pass the floor to Mr. Abu Bakr.
Can I share my presentation?
Yes, please. I'll stop sharing.
So, Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everybody. Nice to be with you here. I'm happy to talk to you. And I would like to thank Mr. Dana for hosting me here in this workshop, this valuable workshop. Hopefully, there will be a few minutes full of information and new ideas. First, let me just introduce Maraf Al-Qatar. What is Maraf Al-Qatar? Maraf Al-Qatar is a life cycle multi-utility company. That means we are providing different utilities. Maraf Al-Qatar, established in 2009, it was a joint venture between different companies, but now it is 100% owned by Qatari Diyar Real Estate Company. The main utilities that Maraf provide are district cooling services. We are one of the biggest district cooling providers in the region and in the world. Our main project of district cooling here in Lusail City, when Lusail City will be fully developed, maybe in 2030, the district cooling in Lusail City will be the biggest cooling load in the world in one development. It will reach around 500,000 tons of refrigeration. This amount of cooling will be divided in 4 plants. We built already 3 plants, and in future we'll build the 4th plant. One of our plants is West Plant. It's providing cooling to Lusail Stadium, where the final match of the World Cup 2022 will be there. Our second service is gas distribution. We provide gas through a network here in Lusail City. We also built 2 plants of gas farms, and we are in the process to build the 3rd plant also. The 3rd service we provide is environmental service. It includes both conventional waste management through the trucks and pneumatic waste management, which is underground through pipes and sucking technology. 4th service is utility tunnel. Here we have in Lusail like 18 kilometers of tunnel, dry and wet tunnel. We are managing this tunnel, operating and managing this tunnel in Lusail City. So let's talk about the waste management and recycling and segregation. First of all, I just want to know what is the word waste means to us, and what is the idea of waste in our minds, how we look to, in which perspective we look to the waste. We either look to the waste as waste or garbage or something there, which means flies, mosquitoes, something we don't want to see, bad smell, visual pollution, health problem, environmental problem. So in overall, maybe it has like negative idea in our minds about the waste, and this is the common idea of the waste in most of the people's mind. Or we can also look at the waste as source of money, as so that give us different resources, energy, economy boost, industry, and jobs. We say waste is not waste until it is wasted. I just give you an example. This is an article, I took it from CNN website. Talks about how Apple recover from its iPhones in every year around 1 ton of gold from recycling of its iPhone. So imagine only Apple company from its iPhones only, it recovers 1 ton of gold every year. So waste is not waste. Waste mean resources, waste mean money. So imagine how many categories, how many money we are wasting every year when we are not utilizing the waste in the best way. So to change this perspective from that negative point of view to look at the waste as a source of money, source of resources, energy, or whatever, we need to go to recycling. We need to implement the full implementation of recycling, and definitely recycling means start with source segregation at the source. I just want to go quick because Sarah already talked about the waste management, the segregation, what is segregation of the waste into wet and dry waste. This already Sarah talked about it. What I need to add here, at the source itself, we can segregate the source, we can start the cycling at the source and change the waste to compost at the source. There are different technologies, there are biobins, there are composting machines in different size. I think my next colleague will talk in details about changing the organic waste to compost. This idea needs to be implemented to reduce the waste that dumped in the landfill. Why we need to segregate waste? There are different reasons. One of the most important things is huge transportation burden on waste management providers. For example, our trucks for one trip from Lusail or from whatever area in Doha, wherever from Doha to Said in the landfill, it will take around 4 to 5 hours in normal situation. This is only one trip. And sometimes there will be like a fire or some emergency situation in landfill. At that time, one trip will take around 8 to 10 hours. Just imagine 8 to 10 hours for only one trip. So it is really huge transportation burden when we don't segregate the waste at the source. The second reason is to reduce the need of landfill. The landfill means waste of land. Landfill means pollution. Landfill means environmental problem. We need to reduce the cost. Definitely, there's a cost of transportation, cost of operation, diesel costs getting higher every time. To prevent emissions from many greenhouse gases. These gases come from the transportation, from the waste itself, landfill, to supply valuable raw materials from recycling waste. And that definitely also will create new jobs when there is a good industry of recycling. We talked about segregation at the source, what we need to do at the end point when we take the waste. I think we need to follow the implementation of waste to energy plant. Waste to energy plant that convert the waste to energy to electricity. In some countries, they utilize the waste for the heating purposes. Also, waste to energy, the other product is compost for agricultural uses. We have here in Qatar one waste to energy plant. It's an inside treatment plant. This plant designed to treat up to 2,300 tons of waste. This plant generates 36 megawatt of electricity every day. In some cities like in Paris, they have their 3 plants in Paris, provides around 200,000 megawatt of electricity. These 3 plants provide heating for 1/3 of the building of Paris, including 245,000 houses. So imagine 3 plants of waste to energy provides big amount of electricity, of heating for the houses and the buildings. So it's really very useful technology and very useful way to just reduce the waste and get rid of land. So this should be the hierarchy to the waste management. First thing, we need to concentrate on reducing the waste, and this is related too much to the people, to the community, to the habit of the people, how they can reduce generating the waste. Then reuse the things. We in Qatar considered one of the highest country in generating waste per capita. It is estimated around 1.8 kg per capita. This is at the highest side. So we are producing a lot of waste. So habit of the people need to be changed to reduce and reuse their materials. Then going to the recycling and energy recovery, as I explained, through waste to energy. And the last thing, least option, going to the development. And hopefully we just get rid of having something like is it possible to have waste management in the country without landfill? Yes, it is possible, and there are some countries they don't have landfill when they managing their waste in very efficient way, and in fact they are importing waste from other countries to produce electricity and heating. So it is possible. So we need to work to reach to that level of waste management. In Lusail, here we have initiated to go with the source segregation and recycling. So Lusail put a standard for every building in the design to have 2 chutes of their building for the waste. One for the dry waste and one for the wet waste. In my information in Share, they have 3 chutes, but here in Lusail we choose to have 2 chutes, dry and waste. So here in Lusail, the initiative was to segregate and go with the recycling from the design. Marafiq also introduced its own recycling bin, and the good thing we make our recycling with recyclable material, with cardboard. I've seen many places here in Qatar, they have fancy recycling bins, one for paper, one for plastic, and one for general. But what's going on at the end of the day, they take these waste and they mix it together and they throw it in the bigger bin. So I don't know, it's nothing at the end, nothing achieved at the end. So to make it successful, recycling, there are here the four parties in this group need to work together in integration to make it successful. First, I will start with the government. The government already, we have here in 2030 vision and the national strategy, they put like waste to be recycled by 18%. So it is there already in the national strategy. This needs to be followed by rule and regulations. I also came to know there's latest regulation by the municipality related to the recycling, and hopefully also to be followed by the regulation related, for example, for the electronic waste. Like other countries, it is mandatory to put the electronic waste in specific bins for the electronic waste. And also specifications and standards of the buildings need to be put to help the recycling of the waste. Support for the waste recycling, financial support to the waste recycling companies and waste recycling industries. I met one time with the owner of Elite Recycling Company. I was very happy when I visit the company, the factory there, and have some interesting talk with the owner. And that time it was during the blockade of Qatar. And I understand they found some difficulties to import the cardboard raw material. So I think these factories need to have support, at least having like a special rate for the electricity and water to support them. We need that support in this country. The second player is the developers, like mall developers or real estate developers. They need to start in their design, considering the recycling, like what is already done in Lusail, Msher, other places. They need to implement recycling. We have good experience with Qatar Mall, for example. For many years, since we started with them, we are doing segregation there in Mall of Qatar and recycling, cardboards, metal cans, plastic, and it's working very well with them. So developers also, when they take the initiative to recycle the waste, it will work very well. Talking about the society, for sure, we need to work on a huge campaign of awareness so the people follow the recycling and segregation. It needs to be part of the education also in the schools, teaching the children how to segregate, how to recycle, the importance. The last service providers, they also need to bring always solutions and new ideas for the recycling and new technologies for best utilization of the waste and take some initiatives. Thank you again, and thanks to Istigama for this.
Thank you, Mr. Abu Bakr, for this really insightful information. Let me just share my screen real quick. So I did see a few hands up when I asked the questions, if you segregated your waste. So if you can share with us in the chat box how you guys go about in doing so, if you have different bins around your homes or your workplace, do share it in the chat box. So I will talk about different practices that are happening around the world. So in Sweden, separating their waste into different colored bags depending on the type of waste and the recycling plant, they separate it into recyclable and non-recyclable elements. So the waste that cannot be recycled is burned in plants that transform their combustion into energy, a process known as waste to energy, to provide electricity for 250,000 homes in the country. So the recyclable elements follow the normal process that converts them into new materials. So China goes about in using smart trash cans. Basically, this is a face recognition system with QR codes around. There's a vending machine right on the side that has QR codes, coded bags, and they have to separate it based on paper, plastic, or cans, or just different types of waste. This does show like a rewarding system. So if you dispose it well and correctly, then you can get rewards such as free bus tickets and a new dustbin. So I think these systems are really cool to have to just help with the segregation and support this type of waste management. In Japan, so one of the examples of the Japanese model's success is the town of Kamikatsu. I think Mr. Abu Bakr mentioned that it is possible to have zero waste. So a small town in the mountains with difficult access to the system available in large cities, the families themselves separate their waste into 34 categories. They aim to recycle almost 100%. They are at 90% right now. It has so Japan in general has a high metal recycling rate, and the metals for the Tokyo Olympic Games are a good example of this, as they were made fully of recycled metals. So through the initiative, the Tokyo 2020 Metal Project collected 70 pounds of gold, 7,700 pounds of silver, and 4,850 pounds of bronze. The gold alone derived from the project is worth $2 million. An initiative that is available here in Qatar in Almira is they have across 8 Almira branches in Doha. They have a machine which accepts recycled plastic or just cans. And this allows also for a reward system, and then you can get points to use in Almira itself. So it encourages customers to really try to segregate their waste and then try to properly recycle it. Actually, also here, from the plastic recycling, there was an initiative in Netherlands where they made a full bike path just purely from plastic. So that was really cool. In the UK, food is wasted in tons around the world. In Bristol, the Sewage Works, a private company for the treatment of sewage and food, they have agreed with the government to take all the food from the houses, more than 1 million houses in Bristol. Instead of throwing waste away and wasting all the excess food, they bring it to the factory where it is treated. This facility can process around 40,000 tons a year of food waste, which can produce 12 gigawatt hours of renewable energy, enough to power 4,000 homes a year. The sewage becomes fertilizers, which can be sold to farmers. They get approximately 10,000 tons from waste, and then 100,000 from sewage waste. So there's also another initiative in Qatar, it's called BioBin, where they take organic waste, and using that, composting is recycling for organic. So it converts organic materials like food waste into a valuable soil amendment that contributes to soil health and keeps organic waste out of landfills. This BioBin captures odors and reduces waste volume. It eliminates attractions of rodents and insects, reduces risks of contamination, and produces organic fertilizers. There's another company here that does this, which is our speaker from today. So Ms. Warda will talk more in depth about Wahab and what they do with organic waste and how they treat it. So Ms. Warda, if you would like to share your screen, please do so. I'll stop sharing mine.
Thank you, Sarah, for the introduction. It's great to see the green initiatives here in Qatar. So hello, everyone. I will be talking to you today about food waste reduction and recycling and what we at Wahab are doing to reduce it. So these are some statistics regarding the global solid waste management. And as you can see, the waste streams have been categorized into the different waste streams, metal, glass, plastic, paper, and food waste takes the highest hit at 44%. The scene in Qatar is that around half of Qatar's municipal garbage is comprised of food waste. And this is what we at Wahab are here to change. We are an award-winning company that offers solutions to reduce, reuse, and recycle your food waste. Now, when we hear the word sustainability, most of us think about plastic pollution, we think about electric cars, vegan diets, but climate change experts say that the single greatest solution to reversing climate change is to reduce our food waste. Now, the number one solution is to create awareness regarding food waste impacts and how we can reduce food waste. So we go into schools, universities, F&B outlets, and events to talk about the importance of reducing food waste. And food waste reduction, unlike, just hold on, I'll just. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
All right. So food waste reduction.
We can see a screen, but not full screen.
Is it full screen now?
It's in the presenter mode.
Is it?
I think we can. You can just present it normally. I think this is going to the presenter mode. Thank you.
Okay. So food waste reduction is really easy and effective, and it can be implemented by all of us cost effectively in our workplaces and homes. So with regard to reusing surplus food, so with regard to reusing surplus food, the thing is that we think there's absolutely no reason whatsoever where we have to throw large amounts of food into landfills when there are others who would benefit and appreciate a free meal. And reusing surplus food makes available the Qatar's needs, the available food to import more food to meet growing demands. And with minimal resources and abiding with food safety regulations and with working with local food banks like Hifna and Ni'ma, we have been able to redistribute more than 550 tons of surplus food to the community with the help of more than 150 volunteers from different backgrounds and cultures. Now, when it comes to recycling, there's this misconception that it does not cost anything to throw our waste away. But as Mr. Abu Bakr, my fellow panelist, said, no waste is wasted. No waste is waste until it is wasted, right? And the reality is that food waste disposal is expensive because both landfilling and incineration cost money. And on the other hand, recycling initiatives on the long run help produce and help save the economy because we are adding value back into the waste. And when it comes to food waste recycling, there are lots of recyclable items like plastic and paper that cannot be recycled because it has been in contact with food waste and thus become contaminated. So in order to ensure that other waste streams are recycled properly, it's important that we establish food waste segregation and recycling. In fact, those studies show that those who compost their food waste are more likely to sort through their trash because it's no more smelly and messy. Now, we all know that food waste, when sent to landfills, it releases methane, which is a greenhouse gas that is responsible for global warming. And we at Wahab offer various solutions for food waste recycling. And we mainly focus on decentralized and on-site solutions because we believe that food waste is best managed at source to reduce odor and pest issues, as well as the welfare and safety of those who handle our food waste. So as you can see, this is the EcoProbe, a food waste recycling machine that can convert food waste into nutrient-rich soil in 24 hours. We have machines from the capacity of 25 kgs up to 1 ton that can process up to 1 ton of food waste per day. And these are some of our installations. So the picture on the right is of a machine for pilot project that we have with Qatar Foundation, where we process their food waste. And over the last 3 months, we have been able to rescue and divert more than 14 tons of carbon emissions from landfills. The picture on the left is of a machine installed at Hamad International Airport as a test project to see whether the system works, and they were really happy with the results. So this is how typically the waste looks before it's added into the machine and what we get at the end of 24 hours. So you can see orange peels, vegetable scraps that have turned into dry powdery mixture that's full of nutrients. We also have one of our machines installed under Qatar Foundation's Multaka Center as Qatar Foundation's Research, Development, Innovation. And this is because we wanted to install sensors in the machine that can help calculate the carbon footprint offset, as well as it has cloud connectivity, so it can be installed in remote locations, as well as we wanted to make it really green, so it works on solar energy. So these are typically machines that for institutions that have large amounts of food waste, but do not necessarily have the time to manually compost their food waste, but would like to reduce their carbon footprint. But we also have manual composting bins of various capacities, ranging from 20 liters up to 550 liters. And these are products that we offer both B2B as well as B2C, and our clients include gardening enthusiasts, schools, as well as farms. And to create that community around composting, we have created a support group where people can share pictures of how they have harvested their first batch of compost, share ideas, ask questions, to just build that community spirit. So there's so many advantages that I can talk to you about composting, in addition to diverting food waste off landfills and reducing carbon emissions, providing the best soil enrichment for plants, and reducing our dependency on chemical fertilizers that are set to contribute to soil and water pollution. But one of the most important facts about composting is that it helps us build this connection with the soil and our food. It allows us to understand how much of time, effort, and money it costs to grow our food. And studies show that those who have a connection with their food are less likely to waste it. And this takes us back to our first point, which is reduction of food waste. So you see that by touching on the 3 R's of food waste, we are completing the cycle of food waste here. So our vision is simple. It is to build a greener and fairer world by using food, which is aligned with Qatar National Vision 2030 and will help Qatar achieve self-sufficiency in food production. I'd like to end this talk by saying that we might think that sustainability is all about big changes, but it's just as much about the small choices we make in our everyday lives. Choosing to take that misshaped carrot when we go grocery shopping can go a long way in helping reduce food wastage, as well as help the farmers who grow our food. And I'd like to thank you for listening, everyone. And I'd like to thank Istidama for giving me this opportunity in their waste recycling workshop.
Thank you so much, Warda, for that, all of that information. That was really insightful. Let me just share my screen real quick. So how to really become more self-aware regarding source segregation. So just maybe make sure have colored bins around for different types of waste. Read the labels of the packaging or any waste that you're generating. Attend more workshops to educate yourself more, and then just try to spread the word and help people know more about source segregation. Stuff you can do is really mostly have different, even in schools or in universities or at work, maybe just try to spread the word and have people know more about this. So if we have any questions, we will actually maybe run our poll so we can have that first. So this Q&A is sponsored by Drinkies. So if you can answer those, hopefully we'll be in the draw and we will announce the winner sometime next week through our social media. So keep an eye out for that. So we'll just give it some time for some responses. Wanted to give a special shout out to Harvard School. Thank you for attending our second day of the workshop. Hopefully this was also as insightful. Okay, we'll give maybe 2 more minutes for everyone to answer, and then we'll take up questions. So I see a few people asking if it would be possible to get the session recording. We will post it on YouTube, so we can share the link also on our social media platforms, and then you can check it out from there.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, please go ahead.
My name is Wahiba, and yes, we've been talking about this separation and all that, but we're looking forward to see the waste bins everywhere for public use. I know it's in university, metro station, but we want it to be public. We want people to be able to have whatever they have in their hands to put it in the right. It's bad enough that we cannot segregate. I can't answer your question, do you segregate or not? I do, yes, and sometimes I don't, because I cannot find the right bin. The batteries, the metal, where would I put them? They are gathering dust, but I can't find it where it should be. So that's one question. When are we getting these bins available to the public? Second question is that all these services that you are offering, since waste management, are these services free or are they chargeable when people use these facilities because they are not available, public? Are we charging? If, let's say, my company, I want to introduce recycling culture, and I put this, for collection, for things, are they chargeable or not, those services? If it is not, because in Europe, how do they manage that, or Japan? It's through taxes, local taxes, you have things that's how it's. Now, how are we going to manage that if we are making recycling like, a general daily life, everyday action? Thank you.
Thank you, Wahiba, for those questions. So for your first one on when we're going to see maybe segregated bins outside or in the public in Qatar, there is a new environmental and climate change municipality that came around just recently that was announced. So hopefully within their vision, we will be expecting some new postings or new announcements that they will be making officially, and hopefully one of the things would be waste segregation or just bins around Qatar publicly, to just for people to have that instead of really just walking around trying to find a bin, just have it resources everywhere and just have it available. So for your second,
sorry,
yes.
may I participate?
Yes, please go ahead.
So this is Hamad Al-Atiya. I own a recycling factory in Qatar. And I had the same issue with whatever she mentioned regarding the segregation bins and such things. And it came to me that I'm creating now an app for Qatar to participate these recycling factories in Qatar and households and government entities, whereas as well listed companies, because they are all participating in something called ESG, environmental social governance, and getting them into playing a key role into creating this app to Qatar and segregating these things. So whoever household have a certain amount of waste, he will be awarded in a matter of charity, taking this amount to a charity thing and participating, giving him a good thought on if he goes into recycling, then this will go into a good thing, a matter of a charity. So I think there is a certain gap in Qatar missing, that households are not still engaged in recycling yet. And it's much easier than that, where if we just enroll a certain app, giving him the opportunity into making it more easier to somebody to pick it up, somebody, because as me, I try to go and search for my waste for recycling, and it's very hard, believe me. It took me like a while till I engaged with these other companies. And this is where the idea came, is that there is no engagement between a party and another still. This is what we are missing out. All the rules, all the engagement of the government is trying to implement, there are still no engagement between two parties of households or recycling companies still. So it's coming on the way, and inshallah by a couple of months it will be ready.
That's a great idea to start off with, and honestly, thank you for such an application. Hopefully, we'll see it soon and see it implemented around Qatar, because it is important for us to engage this and have this as a rule around the homes or around the streets, as Wahiba said, in the public, just to have that segregated garbages around. I'll just try to go back to Wahiba's other question about whether the garbages or the dustbins that are paid or not, and if you're trying to have that around in your workplace. So there are a few places that offer to pick up your recyclables or even have a station for them, like Elite and Seashore. I know Elite offers paper recyclables, and Seashore we'll talk more about that tomorrow regarding plastic recycling, and that will be also touched upon. So please do join our session tomorrow to learn more about it. I hope we're trying to answer as much questions. Maybe we can take one more if we have enough time. We're a little tight on time, but maybe we can take one more.
Hello.
Hi, Irfan.
Hi. I'm from Qatar Rail. This is Irfan here. Actually, I asked one question, but yesterday as well, regarding glass recycling concept. So unfortunately, I could not join in early 10 minutes due to some issue in the meeting. Is it been discussed today, this topic? recycling of glass?
Specific to glass, no, we were just talking generally about source segregation. We do have a project regarding glass recycling that we will be working on. And we can definitely take down your name and get back to you regarding that.
Thank you.
Irfan. Yeah, you are most welcome. You can also reach out or have any more questions. You can email us at info@istidama.qa. So please, we can assist you there, and then we can take up all your questions. We will also be sending out a feedback form to everyone. Hopefully, this session was as insightful and informative. And thank you to all our speakers, and thank you to all of our attendees for being here with us today, for giving us your time, and for listening to this session, and just really trying to raise awareness about source segregation and waste management in general and waste recycling. So please do drop us emails, any email or any questions that you have to info@istidama.qa. And hopefully we'll see you all tomorrow for our other session regarding plastic recycling. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope you have a great and productive rest of your day.